Okay, so good morning all once again. Let me start off with sharing the screen and we'll have a quick revision of what we did in the previous class. Wait, is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the previous class we discussed about the file reading and writing process using some commands, right? We all are aware with the file, how can we read a file, write a file, usually what we do, but how can we operate or do these procedures with respect to command is what we have seen in the previous class, right? So we started off with simple commands like opening a particular file, reading the file and writing some content into it, and then again closing the file, right? So the functions or the methods that were used was open, read, write, and close. So simple functions followed by the path or the file, right, as the argument for that particular function. Right. So we saw a few examples of writing as well as reading and closing the file or modifying the content into it, right? So reading the content of a file, then amending some content. We saw different types of permissions, different types of modes, that is writing mode and amending mode we saw, right? What is the difference between the two? Then, most importantly, saving variables with the shelf mode, the shelf module, right? For example, whenever we create a particular variable and when we execute that file, that variable will be there only till you have that interactive session open. When you close that session, the interactive shell, your variable will be deleted from the memory and it will no more exist. So when you try to retrieve it later, it will not be there. So in case if you want to save some variables which you think you will be using it later, so you can save those variables using the shelf module, right? So we saw a few examples of that as well. And then saving variables with the pprint.p format function, right? So we already seen the printing module, and in yesterday's class, previous class, we discussed the p format function, which is actually used to return the same text as the normal string, but as a string instead of the normal printing what we see, right? So usually we used to get only the output, but here you can see this is actually in the form of a string, right? So this is a string. Output will be in the form of a string. And at the end, we saw a small project that is generating random quiz files. So I hope you have worked upon this, created a small quiz, maybe some 10 questions into a quiz, randomly placed questions, and a few multiple choice answers for that particular question. Right, so you can save those files, those program files, and later you can submit those as the assignment as I've mentioned. Right. So we saw different steps here to go about it, and also we saw the multi clipboard, which is almost on the similar grounds of what we have seen during copying the content from the clipboard, right? So in today's class, we are going to go a little more into deep, but a few again very basic things which you are already aware with, which is more of organizing the files. So this is the third chapter under this module, that is module 3. This is chapter 9, and in this chapter we'll be dealing up with how can we organize the files that we have created, or whatever operations that we do with respect to files, creating a file or deleting a file or placing a particular file, copying them, moving them, right, zipping them. So those things is what we are going to learn in this particular chapter, right? Organizing files. So mostly we all do this organizing of our file. We all have different folders in our PC, or sometimes organized, sometimes not organized. For example, if you have, let's say, a folder called study, so you keep all the study related material in that folder. Inside that folder you can have multiple folders. For example, uh, fifth semester, right? You can have one folder called fifth semester, and in that folder also you can have multiple folders with each subject name and respective data stored under that folder, right? So it's a subfolder now. So folder, then we have subfolder, and then again subfolders, so on, and then you have some documents inside it. So these files sometimes, if they are not if they are not organized well, then how can we automate this thing? How can we make a Python program do these organizing files process, right? So for that we need few things which will be handy. For example, the file extensions, because Python will only understand a particular type of a file by the extension of that particular file, right? Or a folder. So we need to specify the extension of that file or a document or a folder to the Python, and then Python will indirectly do the processing to or somewhat organize those files into a better manner, right? So the different tasks that we are going to see here in this chapter is making copies of all the, let's say we have all the PDF files, we have multiple PDF files. So we are going to look forward few programs which will be helpful for copying all the PDF files, that is only the PDF files, in a subfolder of a folder, right? For example, let's say you save a folder called PDF folder, and in that PDF folder you want to save all your PDF documents, right? It can be anything, any PDF application or resume or anything, your file, document, PDF certificate, something. So all the PDF files, that is the files with extension PDF, will be stored in one folder. This is one task. Then a few more examples that we are going to see, that is like removing the leading zeros in the file names for every file in the folder, right? So for example, you have multiple files, and every file or a document has some zeros attached to it. For example, here you can see spam 001.txt, right? And you don't want that 001 unnecessary. You just want to have that spam 1.txt or spam 2.txt and so on, right? 3, 4, 10, 11, 12, and so on. So how can we help the Python program to identify such files and remove those unwanted leading zeros, right? So that's another task. And one more interesting task that we are going to see here in this chapter is compressing the complete content of a folder into one zip file, right? So you must be already doing this, zipping the few files or some documents, important folders, or maybe your scanned documents, anything, or maybe softwares, right? Operating systems and much more softwares. So you prefer zipping those files as a form, in the form of a backup. But how can we make a Python program for that, which will indirectly help us to zip these files, right, automatically? So as the name goes of this book, that automate the boring stuff with Python, right? So we are going to look forward these examples, which usually we do manually, but how can we perform uh, these operations automatically using the codes is what we are going to see, right? So these are few, you can say highlights of this chapter that we are going to see. So first things first, for example, few of you guys must have not done the setting of identifying the extension of a particular file. So in case if you want that extension of a file in front of that file name or a folder name or a document name, you can just follow these steps. You can go to start, right? You can go to control panel, and thereafter go to appearances and personalization. Then you'll get an option called folder options, right? You can go to the view tab there and uncheck the hide extensions, right? Hide extensions for the known file types. So what it will do is it will simply give you the extension of that particular file. For example, if it is a txt file, or it's a PDF or JPG, whatever. So whatever your files and folders and documents you have, in front of that you will get this extension, right? So you can take a screenshot of this or just make a note of it. You just go to start, go to control panel, you can go to appearance and personalization, then click on folder options, and there you will get a view tab. And under view tab you can go to advanced setting to uncheck the hide extensions, right? By default it will be hide extensions. You have to uncheck it so that the extensions are visible, and you can clearly see the file type or document type uh, for that particular document. Right. So, but how can we do that? How can we do these operations in the Python, right? So for that, these are the few basic utility operations we call. Yeah. So for that, we have a module called shell utility module, which is in short called as shuttle, right? Or you can call SHUtil, right? Which stands for utilities. So shell utilities, as the name suggests, it allows us to perform different operations using different utilities. Right? For example, copying the content or copying the file, folder, or directory, or document, or moving them. Right? Copying, moving, renaming, or deleting. Right? So everything these operations we can make a Python program to do these things. Right? So for that, in order to do these operations, you have to import a very important module, that is SHUtil, that is shell utilities. Right. So once you import that, your program becomes eligible to perform these operations. Right. And in case if you're directly going on to the instructions to perform these operations, then you might get an error that so and so method or a function does not exist or is not valid. Right. Because you must have not imported that module. Okay. So let us go ahead and understand how can we make this copying a file, moving, renaming, deleting, and these operations using Python. Right. So for that, for all of these things, we just have a single liner instructions, single liner commands, which will help you do this. Right. But with few adjustments, you can say, or with few prerequisites for these things. For example, let's say we want to copy files and folders, right? So in order to copy, of course, you have to first import the SHUtil, and also since you're operating on the operating system, you have to import the OS module also, because the identifying the path, the location of a particular file, and these things is only applicable only when we import the operating system module, right? As I have discussed in the previous lectures, when you're doing any kind of operations with respect to the file names, file locations, right, path, then of course you have to import the operating system module. So apart from operating system module, since we are copying and moving and performing some other operations, we have to import the SHUtility command also, right? SHUtil module. So once we have both these modules imported, we are free to use the functions provided or the methods provided by these two modules, right? So first we'll change the directory. We'll go to os.chdr, which is change directory, to just the root directory. Let's say this is our parent directory, C drive. So right now we are at C drive, and here I want to copy a particular file from a location, that is my source location, and I have to copy this file to another location, which is my destination location. Right, so I am copying a file from the C drive itself, named spam.txt, right, which is in the C drive, and I want to copy this document spam.txt into a folder in the C drive called delicious. Right. So the command goes like this: that chutil.copy followed by the source. Right. This is my source. That is C drive followed by the name of the document. And the second argument is the again since I'm copying the same file, it is C drive slash a folder. Right. Now, as you can see, the name that I have given here is, it's not the a new document, it is actually a folder. So spam.txt will be stored inside the folder delicious. So my current path becomes something like this, right? C drive, inside that I have a folder named delicious, and then inside that I have a document called spam.txt, right? So this is one way, and another is, let's say, chutil.copy from the source x.txt, and then I want to copy it directly into a document. Right? Please notice the difference here. Here I was copying from a document, right? I was copying a document into a folder, but now I want to copy the document into another document in another folder, right? So I want to replicate a document, in other words, right? So my document x.txt I want to replicate to a document x2.txt. So same thing, source and the destination. and the same thing will be copied into the newly created document. So it's the kind of a same command, right? So it gives you the flexibility to copy to a folder also and to a document also. Now moving and renaming is again same. Shutil.move followed by the source and again the destination. Source denotes the file that you want to move. The destination is of course where you want to move. Right. So here also it is document to folder, but here document to document. Right. So we are moving a document content to a new document, that is new bacon. Right. So bacon.txt is moved to the content of the bacon.txt is moved to a new document, that is new underscore bacon.txt. Right. So, of course, the care that you have to take here is this locations, right? If you are giving a location which is not valid, or if no such directory or a folder exists, then of course you will get an error that this is an invalid path, or this path does not exist, right? So you get an error that system cannot find this path specified. Let's say you give this shuttle.move, this file name, which is a source file, followed by a path which is actually does not exist, right? There is no folder called C, the drive called C, and then folder called does not exist. If this location is not existing, then definitely you'll get an error, right? So moving ahead, let's see how we can delete these files, how we can permanently delete these files and folders. Right. So there are multiple ways to do it. You can do one thing, that you can unlink the path. Right. By unlinking, it means that that path or uh, that location doesn't will not be linked. Right. It will not exist. It will be kind of a disconnection that will happen. So, right. So if there is a file which is linked to a particular location, then that link will be deleted, so that there is no link and it is disconnected, right? So you can do that using os dot unlink path, right? So here path is whatever that path you specify here, right? So that will delete the file in that location, that path. Second way to do is to remove that directory itself, right? By directory, I mean the folder, to delete that particular folder itself. So os.rmdir, that is remove directory, followed by the location of that directory, will help you to delete the folder, right? Third way to delete the file or folder is to uh, use the remove tree. Right? Remove tree is again a kind of a path. You can structure, you can say, which is deleted. That particular tree itself is deleted, so that that path does not exist, or that branch of that tree does not exist. Right? So the command to do that is shuttle.rmtree, that is a remove tree. Right? So it is shell util dot remove tree followed by the path. So this will again help you to removing the folder at that particular path, right? So you can try and implement these things, these commands. Now, one more safe way to delete these files is to just simply send it to trash, right? You can simply take a file that you want to delete, but if you're not sure that you don't want to delete it permanently, you can, for time being, send it to trash, and later you can decide upon what to do with that particular file, right? So you have the separate module for that to send that data or the content or a file. It can be a document or a folder directly uh, to send to a trash. So for that we have a module called send to trash, right? Send to trash, it's a module that we have to import in order to use the other functions provided by this module, right? So first we import that module, that is sent to trash, and then let's say we have a file, bacon file, which is a newly created file, amended few statement into it, right? And it is closed in the end, right? Hope you remember these previous steps that we have seen, right? Opening a document, reading it, writing few content inside it, and then again closing the document to free of the space, right? So right now we have created a new document called bacon.txt. We have amended some content inside that, and we have returned the length of it, and also we have closed that document. So our job is to this is just a sample document that we want to see or check that whether this document is actually sent to the trash or no, right? So in order to send it to trash, the simple command is send to trash dot send to trash followed by the file name, right, or the document name. So this is what the command will look like: send to trash dot send to trash followed by the file name. Right. So this will ensure that your data is into the trash file and it is not permanently deleted. Okay, so with this, let us go and understand the other topic that is again very important, that is walking a directory tree. Right. So this is just to make you aware how can we walk through a directory or a folder using some commands. Right. So let's say we have this parent folder called C drive, and inside that we have different folders. Right. We have a folder called delicious, right, and we have inside this folder delicious we have few other folders called catch, walnut, and a document called spam. Right? And again in these folders catch and walnut we have further more documents, further more folders, and so on. So the basically this is how a simple structure of a particular file would be, right, for drive or a directory, which is nothing but a tree here, right? This is nothing but a tree. It has a root, it has some branches, and some leaf nodes, you can say, right? Leaf nodes will be the document, the end document, right, or the deepest folder or a deepest file inside a folder will be the leaf node. So this is just an example folder which contains 3 folders and 4 files. Right. So in order to walk through this complete tree, right, this complete directory tree, the command that you have to use is os.walk. Right. So os.walk is a function which is again a function provided by the module called operating system. Right. So in order to use this function, you have to import the module OS. Right. So import OS followed by the command os.walk. Right. So os.walk, and inside that you have to pass the argument as the path that you want to walk, right, or the location that you want to walk. So once you say os.walk, it will just simply give you the structure or the overall, the organized structure of that particular tree, you can say. For example, let's say you are in a folder, D drive folder named delicious, and you want to just walk through the complete content of that tree, right? The whole tree, right? So in that case, when you pass this command os.walk followed by that folder, let's say that folder, the path is C :/delicious. So the path here is delicious folder inside the drive C. So once you execute this command, the the output that you will be able to see is somewhat like this, right? The subfolder inside delicious is catch, subfolder inside delicious is walnut. I hope you can relate to the structure above, right here. So inside the delicious we have folder called catch and walnuts, and then inside catch we have 2 documents: cat names and Zophie, right? Zophie's image. It's a text document, and there's one more JPG document. And in Walnut we have another folder called waffles, and inside that we have butter, which is a text file. And inside the delicious folder also we have a direct documents placed, that is fan.txt. So once you execute this os.walk, the output will be somewhat like this. The current folder is this, subfolder is this, subfolder is this, and file inside is this. So if you hope you remember catch, walnut, and spam. And inside catch we had cat names, we have Zophie's image, which is a JPG file. And inside walnuts we have a folder called waffles, right? And inside waffle folders we have a file which is a text file called butter.txt. So hope you got the overall directory tree, right? The directory tree of a folder called C delicious, right? Now, Before moving on to the next topic, anybody any doubt? Yeah, those who have put it in the chat box, I will be not present. Yeah, anybody with any doubt? Yeah, guys, respond please. Any doubt? Okay. Okay, so let us move ahead and do one more interesting thing which you must try today, that how to zip a file using these commands, right? Or compressing the files with the zip file module. So you must have all done this zipping a file, as I mentioned, zipping few important documents, your certificates, scanned documents, or maybe softwares or photographs. So whatever that you want to zip, you must have zipped using a third party tool or external tool. Right? But how can we do this zipping file internally using using these Python commands? Right. So just try it out today. That how can you zip a few documents? Right. So for time being, you can just consider you can just create few dummy documents or fake documents or maybe not so important type of documents and then try to zip them. Right. So to zip these files, we need to have a module called zip file. So zip file is the module which will be helping us to perform different operations with respect to zipping a particular file, right? So, for example, compressing and all, or archiving and all, right? So, let's say we have this content of an file. Let's say we have content called a folder called cats. Inside that we have cat names .txt, zophie.jpg, and then we have a whole document called spam.txt. And this whole thing we want to zip into a single file, right? Let's say we want to zip this whole thing into a single folder. Let's say call it example.zip, right? We want to store it into a example.zip. So first we have to we will see how we read a zip file, right? So it's a simple instruction that, like I mentioned first, since we are dealing with the operations with respect to operating system, we have to import the module operating system. We have to import the module zip file also, right? So we are not doing any other processing, so we are not importing any other modules as well. So once you have that zip file as well as operating system module imported, you have to make sure that you are into a right location where you want to zip that file. You make a variable called zip example zip, which will actually help you zip the file by using the command zip file, which is actually the name of the module, followed by the name of the method or a function, which is again zip file. So the instruction goes like zip file dot zip file followed by the name of that file, right? And if you want to check a list, the name list, then it will give you the list of the document which is stored, right? So for example, let's say we want to zip this file. Before we zip it, let's say we take some information of that file, that is info.file size. So as you can see, the size of the file currently is something 13,908 bytes, you can say, right? So we want to zip this file, and before that we have to compress it, right? So in order to compress, we'll just say spam info dot compress underscore size. So, and as you can see, the now compressed size is 3,828 instead of 13,908. So it is compressed by a lot of a lot margin, right? So compressed file, uh, just if you want to know like how much times that particular file is compressed, right, or made smaller, you can just give an instruction that compressed file is percentage as x smaller, that is x denotes times, right? So let's say 2 times or 3 times 4 times smaller. The compressed file is 3.63 times smaller. So that's about just the compressing a particular file. But how can we extract the document from that zip file? We already have a zip file and we want to extract the content inside it. So for that we need to extract all method, right? We need to use this extract all method provided by the zip file module. So other things remain same. Import zip file, import OS, change the directory, use the command example zip file.zip file followed by the name of the file, and then use example zip dot extract all. So extract all will help you to extract the content of that zip file. And once you extract all, don't forget to close that file, right? So that will save our memory. So this is all about zipping, extracting the content and these things. But creating and adding to zip file, how can we do? That is simply using the write method, right? As it is mentioned here. Right. So the command will be, like I said, import zip file. Then you need to create a variable called new zip, followed by the method that is zip file.zip file, followed by the name of the file, new.zip, and the mode. The mode is here write mode because we are writing it to a new file. It's a write mode, which is indicated by letter small case W, right? And then write, we are going to perform write method. What is that write method? New zip dot write followed by first argument is the file in which we want to write, and second argument is the where we want to write, right? So compress underscore type is equal to zip file dot zip deflated, and then ultimately close that file. So that is all about how you zip particular document or create or add zip, then extract the zip content or read the zip content. Right. So hope this was interesting to you and you can try it out using some simple examples. Create some dummy text documents or some images and then try to zip them, right, using these commands. And save these files, whatever program you write, save them, and whatever output that you get, you take a screenshot of it, and later you will be submitting those as your assignment. Right. So if you have any doubts, you can ask. We can revert back to a particular topic where if you have not understood. Anybody any doubt? These are very simple instructions. There are one-liner instructions or commands which you can try it out on different programs. Yeah, anybody any doubt? Okay, then if there are no doubts, then we shall conclude the lecture. Please make note of whatever we have discussed here, right? And keep on writing the notes of these things on daily basis, right? So we'll conclude the lecture here. Thank you.